A monstrous nor'easter, officially classified as a bomb cyclone due to its rapid intensification, has left the New England region buried under a historic blanket of snow. In what meteorologists are calling the most significant winter event since the legendary blizzard of 1978, the storm has shattered century-old records, crippled critical infrastructure, and left hundreds of thousands in darkness. The storm began as a low-pressure system off the Carolinas before tracking northward, fueled by an unusual contrast between a frigid Arctic air mass and record-warm Atlantic sea surface temperatures. This thermal clash triggered bombogenesis, where the storm's central pressure plummeted by over 30 millibars in less than 24 hours. By the time the eye of the storm sat off the coast of Cape Cod, it was generating hurricane-force wind gusts and snowfall rates of 3 to 5 inches per hour. The epicenter of the storm's fury was southern New England. According to the National Weather Service, Providence, Rhode Island, recorded a staggering 37.9 inches of snow. This total officially dethrones the long-standing record from February 1978, marking the greatest single-storm snowfall in the city's history. In Massachusetts, the town of Fall River reported a jaw-dropping 41 inches, while Boston's Logan International Airport recorded a solid 17.1 inches, complicated by massive drifts that reached the height of first-story windows. The nor'easter was not just a snow event. It was a coastal catastrophe. High tides combined with a massive storm surge led to significant flooding in Scituate and Nantucket. Nantucket clocked a peak wind gust of 83 miles per hour, causing widespread structural damage. At the height of the storm, over 650,000 customers across the Northeast were without power. Utility crews from as far as Canada have been deployed, but deep snow and blocked roads are making repairs painfully slow. All rail service on the Amtrak Northeast Corridor was suspended, and more than 4,500 flights were canceled across the region's major hubs. Governors across New England declared states of emergency early Monday. In Massachusetts, Governor Maura Healey deployed the National Guard to assist with high-water rescues and to help clear snow-clogged emergency routes. "This is not a storm you shovel your way out of in an afternoon," said one emergency official in Providence. "This is a week-long recovery effort. We are asking residents to stay off the roads to allow our plows to reach the hardest-hit neighborhoods."
That's my car.
As the skies clear, the region faces a new threat: plunging temperatures. Wind chills are expected to drop well below zero, raising concerns about frostbite for those still without heat. Structural engineers are also monitoring the weight of the snow on flat roofs as the sheer volume of the white gold exceeds the safety limits of many older buildings. Community centers have been transformed into warming shelters, providing a lifeline for the elderly and vulnerable populations who remain without electricity. Economists at several New England universities have begun calculating the staggering toll of the blizzard of 2026. Preliminary estimates suggest a regional economic loss of $3.5 billion to $5.2 billion. The shutdown effect hit the retail and hospitality sectors hardest. With thousands of businesses closed for 4 consecutive days, the loss in hourly wages and consumer spending is monumental. Furthermore, the Massachusetts Department of Transportation, MassDOT, reported that the cost of salt, overtime for plow drivers, and heavy machinery repairs has already exceeded the state's entire winter budget in just 72 hours. "We aren't just talking about clearing roads," said an economic analyst in Boston. "We are looking at structural damage to the electrical grid and coastal infrastructure that will take months, if not years, to fully subsidize." The blizzard of 26 will be studied in atmospheric science textbooks for decades. What made this nor'easter unique was the dual-core system. For a brief period of 6 hours, the storm developed 2 distinct centers of circulation. This phenomenon allowed the storm to stall just 50 miles off the coast of Rhode Island, effectively keeping the heaviest snow band stationary over the same towns for nearly half a day. Meteorologists also noted the snow-to-liquid ratio. While typical snow has a 10-to-1 ratio, this storm produced heavy snow with a 6-to-1 or 8-to-1 ratio in southern areas. This cement-like consistency is what led to the catastrophic number of downed trees and roof collapses across the South Shore and Cape Cod. Despite the destruction, the storm brought out the legendary New England resilience. In New Bedford, a group of local fishermen used their heavy-duty trucks and winches to pull an ambulance out of a 4-foot drift, allowing a critical heart patient to reach the hospital just in time. In the mountains of New Hampshire and Vermont, while the snowfall was less record-breaking than the coast, the extreme cold, reaching -20 degrees Fahrenheit with wind chill, created a survival crisis. Local Good Samaritan networks utilized social media to coordinate wood-burning stove fuel deliveries to isolated elderly residents whose heating systems had failed. As of Wednesday afternoon, the immediate concern has shifted from falling snow to refreezing. With temperatures predicted to plummet tonight, any standing water or slush will turn into black ice. The roads might look clear, but they are skating rinks, warned the Connecticut State Police. Officials are urging citizens to remain home for one more night, as crews apply specialized de-icing chemicals that are more effective in sub-zero temperatures. Climate scientists from the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution suggest that while it may seem counterintuitive, the intensity of this blizzard is linked to a warming Atlantic. The sea surface temperatures off the coast were 3 to 5 degrees above average this winter. This extra warmth provided the fuel, moisture, and energy that allowed a standard winter low to explode into a historic bomb cyclone. At least 13 weather-related deaths have been reported. Over a foot, 30 centimeters, extending in a 1,300-mile, 2,100-kilometer swath from Arkansas to New England, halted traffic, canceled flights, and triggered wide school cancellations Monday. Up to 2 feet 60 centimeters were forecast in some of the harder-hit places. There were more than 800,000 power outages in the nation on Monday morning, most of them in the south, according to PowerOutage.com. The region got its share of sleet and freezing rain during the storm. There also were more than 4,400 flight delays and cancellations nationwide, according to flight tracker FlightAware.com. More light to moderate snow was forecast in New England through Monday evening. In Falmouth, Massachusetts, about an hour's drive south of Boston, snow came down in sheets and closed down the town. Nell Field said she had to shovel just to be able to let her dog outside Sunday. 7 inches, 18 centimeters, had fallen, with up to that much more still on the way. I feel that the universe just put a big, huge pause on us with all the snow, Field said. On Manhattan's Upper East Side, January Cotrel enjoyed the fresh snow on a block that always closes during snowstorms for residents to sled, throw snowballs, and make snowmen. I pray for 2 feet every time we get a snowstorm. I want as much as we can get, she said. Let the city just shut down for a day and it's beautiful, and then we can get back to life. Meanwhile, bitter cold followed in the storm's wake. It got down to -40 degrees Fahrenheit, -40 Celsius, in parts of Minnesota on Sunday. Many communities across the Midwest, South, and Northeast awakened Monday to sub-zero weather. The entire lower 48 states were forecast to have their coldest average low temperature of -9.8 degrees Fahrenheit, -12.3 degrees Celsius, since January 2014. Record warmth in Florida was the only thing keeping that average from going even colder, said former National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration Chief Scientist Ryan Maue, who calculates national averages based on National Weather Service data. From Montana to the Florida Panhandle, the Weather Service posted cold weather advisories and extreme cold warnings as temperatures in many places dipped to zero, -18 degrees Celsius, and even colder. Wind made conditions even chillier, and the overnight cold refreezed roads early Monday in a cruel reprise of the weekend's lousy travel weather. Even with precipitation ending in Mississippi, that doesn't mean the danger is behind us, Governor Tate Reeves said in a news conference Sunday. Freezing rain that slickened roads and brought trees and branches down on roads and power lines were the main peril in the South over the weekend. In Corinth, Mississippi, heavy machinery manufacturer Caterpillar told employees at its remanufacturing site to stay home Monday and Tuesday. It already was Mississippi's worst ice storm since 1994, with its biggest ever deployment of ice-melting chemicals, 200,000 gallons, 750,000 liters, plus salt and sand to treat icy roads, Reeves said. He urged people not to drive anywhere unless absolutely necessary. Do please reach out to friends and family, Reeves added. At one point Sunday morning, about 213 million people were under some sort of winter weather warning, authorities said. Some 12,000 flights also were canceled Sunday and nearly 20,000 were delayed. In New York City, Mayor Zohran Mamdani said at least 5 people who died were found outside as temperatures plunged Saturday, though the cause of their deaths remained under investigation. 2 men died of hypothermia related to the storm in Caddo Parish in Louisiana, according to the state health department. In Massachusetts, police said a snowplow backed into a couple walking in a Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority parking lot in Norwood on Sunday. A 51-year-old woman was killed and her 47-year-old husband was hospitalized. 2 teenagers died in sledding accidents, a 17-year-old boy in Arkansas and a 16-year-old girl in Texas, authorities said. 3 weather-related deaths were announced in Tennessee, authorities said. Further details were not immediately available. Brumbach reported from Atlanta. Walker reported from New York. Kristen Hall and Jonathan Mattis in Nashville, Tennessee. Philip Marcello in New York. Ed White in Detroit. Jeff Martin in Kennesaw, Georgia. Meade Groover in Fort Collins, Colorado. Jessica Hill in Las Vegas, and Seth Borenstein in Houston contributed reporting. The National Weather Service office in Norton, Massachusetts, announced at 7 p.m. that total snow accumulation of 37.9 inches was at Rhode Island T.F. Green International Airport in Warwick. Before Monday, the greatest single snowstorm on record was 28.6 inches on February 6th to 7th, 1978. The daily snowfall of 35.5 inches broke the record one-day snowfall, which was 19.0 inches set during the blizzard of January 8, 1996. I was around in the blizzard of 78. This is a remarkable difference, McKee told reporters gathered at the Rhode Island Emergency Management Agency's Cranston headquarters Monday afternoon. This is the biggest snowstorm that we have ever seen. McKee declared a state of emergency on Sunday that continues till Tuesday at 7 a.m., including a travel ban across the state for passenger vehicles and tractor trailers. Most Rhode Islanders have complied and stayed off the roads, but the governor said there have been people who are out there unnecessarily clogging our roads and are putting others' safety at risk. State offices will also remain closed Tuesday, McKee said. Earlier in the day on Monday, the Rhode Island General Assembly announced that it has canceled House and Senate floor sessions, along with all committee meetings that were scheduled for Tuesday. Most committee hearings are now being rescheduled for Tuesday, March 3rd. As of noon Monday, Rhode Island State Police troopers responded to 133 disabled vehicles across the state's highways. Lieutenant Colonel John Allen confirmed to Rhode Island Current. That included 15 crashes. State police have cited 24 vehicles for violating the travel ban, which carries an $85 ticket for the first offense. Allen said state police have also been dealing with several disabled tractor trailers on the highways, which are halting the state's response to the storm. As of noon, he said there were 2 trucks stuck near the Connecticut border, blocking snowplows. Traffic is at a standstill, Allen said. McKee said he had spoken with a mayor of one community who said that people were attempting to drive and abandoning their cars when they got stuck. His office confirmed it was Providence. Yes, that has been happening in Providence. Josh Estrella, a spokesperson for Providence Mayor Brett Smiley, said in a phone call Monday around 12:15 p.m. Estrella didn't have an exact count of the number of cars stuck on the road, but he said there were over 20 stuck cars and that the city has crews that are going to them to try to dig them out. The mayor's office echoed the governor's sentiment to stay in place, as even snowplows were not able to brave the roads late Monday morning into early afternoon. Estrella said that, starting from around 9 a.m., the city's fleet of snowplows, 60 municipal vehicles and 30 contracted ones, paused work because whiteout conditions made driving unfeasible. You just straight up cannot see right now, Estrella said, noting that the plows would resume work once whiteout conditions end, not something that would happen on an exact timeline. We were plowing throughout the night, Estrella said, adding that the city was pre-treating roads all day Sunday ahead of the snow's arrival. The city's parking ban went into effect on 3 p.m. Sunday, and so far, the city has issued 1,273 tickets, a gargantuan number compared to storms past. It's almost triple the amount of citations we issued during the big storm a month ago, Estrella said. Around noon, the city had also towed 316 cars, Estrella said. This year, the Smiley administration also chose to increase the number of parking lots available for permitted residents who normally park on the city's streets, bringing the total lots to 16. They've been working really well, Estrella said. Some of them are getting filled up, but a lot of them still have capacity. There's also parking at the convention center available for $10 for the storm's duration, Estrella said. With the caveat, though, at this point, we do not recommend anyone to drive to the convention center, he said. The scenes evoke the blizzard of 1978, when the many highways became parking lots of abandoned cars covered in snow, including the Washington Bridge in Providence. That was not a good situation. We do not want to repeat that, McKee said. As of early afternoon, snow accumulations of 35 inches in North Kingstown, 33. 5 inches in Providence and 29 inches in Narragansett were reported, according to the National Weather Service. 5 of the state's 6 airports, excluding Quonset Point in North Kingstown, because McMinn said the wind sensor went offline for several hours overnight and early this morning, reached blizzard criteria. A blizzard is defined as a storm with sustained winds of at least 35 miles per hour, combined with falling or blowing snow that reduces visibility to less than a quarter mile. The Weather Service warned wind gusts could reach up to 75 miles per hour. Trained spotters in Portsmouth and Smithfield reported 28.2 and 26 inches of snow respectively as of 6 p.m. It's a historical nor'easter for sure, said Kevin Katama, a meteorologist for the National Weather Service. It's not something we see every year, not even every 5 years. McKee's emergency declaration and travel ban will remain in effect overnight, McKee said during the 4:30 p.m. update. We will reassess the conditions in the morning to determine when those end, he said. McKee is scheduled to provide his next storm update at 10:30 a.m. Tuesday. Time will be needed in order to restore power across much of southern and central Rhode Island. As of 12:45 p.m., Rhode Island Energy reported over 40,000 customers across the state were without power, equal to 5% of its 770,000 customers statewide. Greg Cornett, president of Rhode Island Energy, said the company has nearly 200 crews stationed across the state that are ready to get out and provide restoration as quickly as we can. But because of the extreme wind gusts, those crews can only wait before they can get out and restore power. This is going to be a multi-day outage for some folks, Cornett said. Cornett said during the 4:30 p.m. storm update that hospitals and nursing homes will be first priority as crews begin restoring power. We will not cease work until the last customer is restored, he said. State officials similarly anticipate it will take a while to have every highway lane open. Delivering that message was not the state's longtime transportation chief, Peter Alviti Jr., who is set to retire at the end of the week. Instead, it was his incoming interim successor, Robert Rocchio. McKee said Alviti is actively working through the storm, including calling for a 4 a.m. meeting Monday. Rocchio's presence was in order to make sure that we're transitioning into the new leadership. Rhode Island's all-Democratic congressional delegation is urging the Trump administration to make assistance from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, available to the state if requested to support post-storm recovery. There is no reason FEMA cannot utilize the more than $9 billion currently in the Disaster Relief Fund, which continues to be available during a shutdown, they wrote in a letter issued Monday. McKee said he is aware of the letter and is preserving records in case the state seeks federal reimbursement. FEMA last approved assistance for Rhode Island under the Biden administration in March 2024, following severe flooding that struck the state in December 2023 and January 2024. Meanwhile, Governor Ned Lamont declared a state of emergency in Connecticut in advance of the major winter storm that blasted the state with snow and wind Sunday into Monday. The state of emergency begins on Sunday at 5 p.m. and will continue through the day on Monday. Lamont also signed an emergency order that prohibits all commercial vehicles from traveling on all limited-access highways statewide in Connecticut, beginning at 5 p.m. on Sunday, and will be in place until further notice. Eversource had 13,064 customers without power at 8:30 a.m. Monday. The company serves 1,310,282 and had predicted hundreds of thousands could lose service. United Illuminating, which serves 17 towns, had 3,085 outages as that time. Commercial vehicles include those such as permitted vehicles, trucks, RVs, tractor-trailers, tankers, and vehicles with trailers. The Office of the Governor will send out a notification indicating when it has been determined that the emergency order on commercial vehicle travel can be lifted, according to a statement from the Governor's office. The order is in coordination with neighboring states which are also issuing similar emergency orders. We're no stranger to snow in Connecticut, but I'm urging everyone to take this storm and the blizzard conditions it will bring seriously, Lamont said in a statement. During its height, we are going to experience intense winds that will cause whiteout conditions, severely limiting visibility and making motor vehicle travel very dangerous. Everyone statewide is strongly urged to avoid all unnecessary, non-essential travel. Plan ahead, get to where you need to be by early Sunday evening, and remain there throughout the duration of the storm. The exceptions to the emergency order include emergency response and recovery vehicles, including public safety vehicles, utilities vehicles, and vehicles carrying essential personnel or supplies, such as those carrying food, fuel, and medical supplies. On noon on Sunday, Lamont activated the Connecticut's severe cold weather protocol. The protocol will remain in effect until at least at noon on Tuesday, due to the incoming major winter storm, which is expected to bring blizzard conditions to the state, according to a statement from Lamont. Many towns and cities across the state issued parking bans and snow emergencies. Snowflakes already began falling on Sunday morning with as many as 2 inches on the ground in southern Connecticut by 9 a.m. Weather models show 18 to 24 inches of snow in the southern part of the state and 12 to 18 inches of snow in northern part of the state, according to Lamont. Any westward movement of this storm could result in higher snowfalls into Connecticut, Lamont said in the statement. Additionally, the state is expected to experience very strong wind gusts throughout the duration of the storm, exceeding 50 miles per hour at times. According to AccuWeather, blizzard conditions with 8 to 12 inches were expected in Hartford on Sunday, with an additional 1 to 3 inches of snow on Monday. AccuWeather also forecasts blizzard conditions late Sunday night in the New Haven area, with accumulation of 10 to 14 inches, with another 3 to 6 inches on Monday. It will be extremely dangerous to be outside during this storm, and we want to get the word out that shelters and warming centers are open statewide for anyone who needs a safe place to stay warm, Lamont said. Eversource has said they pre-positioned equipment and hundreds of line and tree crews at its work centers around the state to respond to any damage or outages caused by this storm. The combination of heavy wet snow and strong winds can easily bring down trees and tree limbs onto power lines and equipment, causing power outages, the company said in a statement Sunday. The energy company has roughly 700 crews, including outside line workers from NH, MA, NY, NJ, and PA, who will all be well prepared and in position before the storm begins. Even with precise and strategic planning and preparations, Eversource is warning customers that hazardous weather conditions will slow power restoration efforts. This is forecasted to be a slow-moving, long-duration winter storm, with blizzard warnings in effect for parts of the state, and that can be very problematic, said Eversource President of Electric Operations in Connecticut, Steve Sullivan. Deep snow and drifting can bury downed power lines and electrical equipment, making hazards difficult to see. The poor visibility from high winds and blowing snow will also make it very challenging for crews traveling to damaged locations and working on equipment. All of these factors will impact our response times, and customers should be aware that while our crews will be working as quickly and safely as possible, restoration efforts could extend over multiple days. Sullivan added during a briefing on the impending snow on Sunday afternoon that he expects hundreds of thousands of residents to be without power if the current forecast holds. He added the restorations could take from 2 to 6 days. United Illuminating officials said Sunday that, in advance of the expected severe weather, it is prepared and fully staffed to respond in the event of power outages. The utility, which noted the forecasted snowstorm and wind, present risks for outages, so the company is bringing in additional crews and encouraging customers to prepare in advance of the storm. We are prepared for potentially hazardous conditions across our service area today and Monday, said Angela Baccaro, UI spokesperson, in a statement. Additional crews will be supporting our response during this storm to ensure we get power back on for our customers as quickly as possible in the event of an outage. Customers can also visit our website to report outages at any time and sign up for outage alerts to receive up-to-date information on estimated restoration times. With the heavy gusting winds, it is important to always stay away from downed wires and assume all downed wires are energized and dangerous. Those in need of a shelter or warming center should visit 211ct.org or call 211. The severe weather protocol is put into place to protect the most vulnerable populations from the severe cold. When this protocol is enacted, state agencies can coordinate with United Way 211 to help those who need a shelter or transportation to shelters. Commissioner of the Connecticut Department of Transportation Garrett Eucalito said the state has 650 plow trucks that are ready with 900 drivers as well as 200 additional contractors and will be on the road starting at 5 p.m. We have fuel, salt, and materials, all fully stocked and ready to go, Eucalito said. This is a different storm than we had several weeks ago. This, instead of the light fluffy snow, that was much easier to clear for our plows. This is going to be wet, heavy snow that is going to take a long time for us to move through the storm and clear it from the roads. Eucalito said he's asking state residents to stay home, but if someone has to go out to pack cars with essential supplies and not to crowd plow trucks. He added that all bus service in the state was suspended at 2 p.m. and train schedules were severely modified. Shoreline East and Hartford Line ended at 4 p.m. on Sunday, and there will not be any Shoreline East or Hartford Line service Monday. Metro North service will be on a significantly reduced schedule to about a train an hour. Eucalito is asking residents to stay home Sunday night and all day Monday as CTDOT workers clear the roads. It's going to take us much longer to clear the highways during this storm than we did during the previous storm, so we're just asking for your patience. If trees come down, which we do expect, our tree crews cannot go out to clear those trees until every source is out there to de-energize. And once that's done, then our tree crews can get out. But we can't go out during 50 to 70 mile per hour winds. In Hartford, Mayor Arunan Arulampalam will activate a snow parking ban for the city of Hartford at noon on Sunday, and it will continue into Monday. Blue light lots opened at 8 a.m. to allow residents to get cars off the street. We're expecting 12 to 18 inches of snow beginning Sunday night and continuing into Monday, Arulampalam said in a statement. Our public works team is standing by to keep our roads clear and safe, but we need your help to make our snow cleaning operation as easy as possible, he said. Please get your cars into your driveway, or to a blue light lot, city lot, or school lot, and for your own safety, please stay off the streets as much as you can. Blue lights were illuminated in the city at 8 a.m. on Sunday in 16 major intersections in the city, and the lights will remain on during the duration of the ban. There are 9 blue light lots in the city for parking during snow bans, including 130 Sisson Avenue, 2,434 Main Street, 141 Sheldon Street, 1,213 Main Street, 60 Chadwick Avenue, 45 Evergreen Avenue, 175 Mather Street, Sigourney Street and Homestead Avenue, Learning Corridor Parking Garage, Brownell Street Entrance, and 75 Clark Street. During the parking ban, all on-street parking is prohibited in the city, and any cars that aren't moved will be ticketed and towed. Residents without off-street parking are asked to use blue light lots, city parks, and city recreation and senior centers. All Hartford Public Schools parking lots are also options for Hartford residents, with the exception of Bulkley High School and Burns Latino Studies Academy. Trash pickup will be delayed by 1 day, and Hartford City Hall will be closed on Monday. Other parking bans in the state include New Haven, Waterbury, Meriden, Middletown, Torrington, West Haven, Glastonbury, Killingly, Ledyard, Brantford, Putnam, Thomaston, Winchester, Wallingford, West Hartford, East Windsor, Somers, Enfield, Wethersfield, Berlin, East Windsor, Groton, Plainville, New Britain, Wolcott, among others. Many schools have already closed, including New Haven, Bristol, Tolland, and Meriden are among the first to close school on Monday, and the closures continued throughout the day,